As artists and creative people, we are always looking for things that inspire us. And what better place to go to be inspired than the happiest place on earth? Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome, mad creators, to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. And in order to get inspiration for that kind of thing, we go to different sources, but one of my favorite sources has been Disney, and particularly Disneyland. So when you're talking about that kind of stuff, well, maybe not zombies so much. I don't know if there are any. Are there any Disney zombies? I know there's robots and aliens, but if there are, let me know in the comments. None are coming to my mind. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff I like to create, so I just thought it would be cool to go to Disneyland, kind of walk around to each land in Disneyland. I think there's 6 or 7. I'm not going to count Main Street, so at least until the new Star Wars land opens up, I think there's like 6 lands. So I want to go to each one of those, and I want to do a little inspirational sketch, something inspired by that particular land. So that's what we're going to do, and in order to do that, we're going to get our sketchbook, and we are going to go to Disneyland vicariously through this device here, the paralleloscope, that allows us to go through time, space, alternate realities, parallel dimensions. So let's take a trip. Greetings, everyone. I'm here at Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. Disney and Disneyland in particular has always been a huge inspiration for me. I love the attractions, but even more than the attractions, well, maybe not more than the attractions, but in addition to the attractions, I also love just the theming surrounding the park. So I always gathered huge inspirations going through the park as a kid, and it kind of informed some of the artwork that I do. Now, I had this idea that I would go to the park and I would just basically go through every land and do a sketch that's inspired from every land. Now, everyone does fan art, so I didn't want to do that. That's kind of the easy route. So I think it's important to kind of be inspired by things, but put your own spin on it. So I'm not going to do any like official characters. I'm not going to say go to like Critter Country and do like Brer Rabbit or Winnie the Pooh or something like that. I just want to do my own take. That's what I'm planning on doing today. We're going to go into the park. We're going to kind of scope out somewhere to sit and maybe do a little sketching, and let's see what we come up with. All right, here we go. We're going to take a stroll down Main Street, USA. Now, since we're going to be doing some sketching and we still want to enjoy all the park has to offer, I'm using my Magic Morning Pass, which allows me to get in an hour early. Now, when they do this, usually only 2 lands are open, and that's Fantasyland and Tomorrowland. So we're going to hit Tomorrowland first. And as you can see in the distance, unfortunately, the castle is closed today, as are the Astro Orbiters and Space Mountain. So a lot of things closed today in Tomorrowland, but that's all right. We're going to make the best of it. Ironically, one of the things that there's a big presence in Tomorrowland are some of the Star Wars stuff. Star Tours, the Star Wars Launch Bay, the thing at the Tomorrowland Terrace where they have a Star Wars show. So a lot of Star Wars stuff. And with Galaxy's Edge opening soon, hopefully that'll give Disney the opportunity to kind of repurpose some of these attractions and kind of bring some new life into Tomorrowland, because I think it needs it. But I do like Star Tours and I want to keep that. So anyway, we're here at Pizza Planet. I decided to sit down here and do my first sketch. As a kid, Tomorrowland was always my favorite land. I love science fiction. I love robots. So what more fitting to do than a robot? So I thought it'd be cool to have like a newly built robot experiencing Disneyland for the first time as a tourist. So that's what I decided to go with. That's my theme. So just the whole thing, the Mickey Mouse hat, the Mickey Mouse balloons, all that stuff. That's my first sketch. Now it's time to head over to Fantasyland, and our first stop at Fantasyland is hit those Matterhorn bobsleds. As I mentioned, the castle is being refurbished, so we can't make that grand entrance through the drawbridge of the castle, but that's all right. Fantasyland is still just a place of wonder. Mary Blair's incredible vision for It's a Small World is definitely an inspiration, so why not sit right across from there and do my sketch for Fantasyland? And with Sleeping Beauty's castle and Maleficent and the dragon, I thought it'd be cool to do a dragon, but I wanted to do a cute dragon. Many fairy tales feature dragons, but very few of them are friendly dragons, so this is my friendly dragon for Fantasyland. The next stop on our sketch tour of Disneyland is Frontierland. Now, I grew up in the American Southwest, so I've always had a bit of its inspiration. We've got ghost towns and everything that I can go that are just a few miles from my house. So this feels right at home to me, and I always loved old westerns and things like that. And one of my favorite rides, of course, is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, so we're gonna hit that. There are a lot of quiet places in Frontierland we can go and sit down and do a sketch. That's all going to change when Galaxy's Edge opens up right next door. But for now, we just sit down and do our sketch. I'm going to do an old prospect, right? We thought it'd be fun to I like the idea of this old guy mining for gold and just striking it rich. So that's my Frontierland sketch. Our next destination is going to be New Orleans Square, so we're going to take the scenic route and jump on the Disneyland Railroad. That'll take us right there. Now, I'm sorry to say I've never been to Louisiana or New Orleans. It's on my bucket list, but until I get to the real thing, at least I can experience it in some small shape or form here in New Orleans Square at Disneyland. You can't do New Orleans Square without riding the classic Pirates of the Caribbean. I really love all these little hidden shops and back alleyways in New Orleans Square, so I thought this would be a perfect place to sit down and do my sketch. I am super inspired by pirates and mermaids and all that, so why not do a pirate mermaid? And I noticed that there's people doing caricatures across the way and they're kind of looking at me funny, like, hey, you moving into my action? But no, I'm just here to do some sketching and have some fun. So I try to think of all the things that inspire me when I think of New Orleans Square, and this is what I came up with. Now we're going to head over to Critter Country, but first we're going to pass another classic New Orleans Square attraction, the Haunted Mansion, one of my favorites. You can tell we are in Critter Country when you hear the screams of the people as they plunge down Splash Mountain, and now to a rather fun ride, the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
If home is what you covet, you'll find that they love it. Because they go so lot the thing you promise. Run, beware.
There's always been something very endearing to me about Winnie the Pooh, and look, there's the man himself signing autographs. But we're going to move on to the Hungry Bear restaurant. We're going to sit down and I'm going to do my Critter Country sketch. And because of Splash Mountain and Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, Brer Fox, I want to do a Brer character, but I wanted to do a different one. I don't know if there is a Brer skunk, but if there isn't, then there is now. So I decided, kind of take that look and do my version of what a Brer skunk might look like. Now we're going to make our way over to Adventureland. Now, Adventureland is an area that has always inspired me because it's so mysterious and foreign to me. And I love these tikis, and that is definitely going to be an inspiration for the sketch I end up doing. But first, the comedy stylings of the Jungle Cruise skippers.
Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the boat. Remain seated at all times and supervise your children. The African bull elephant. Over on the right, that is the most feared animal in the African jungle. It's his mother-in-law. It is the eighth wonder of the world. It's the backside of water.
We're going to move on through Adventureland, past Tarzan's treehouse, and find a place to sit down and eat. One thing you have to do when you go to Disneyland is get a Dole Whip. So I got my Dole Whip. I'm going to sit down, relax, eat my Dole Whip float while I do my sketch for Adventureland. And like I said, I want to do something with those tikis, so this is sort of the tiki god that I came up with. Now on to the last land we're going to be heading to, Mickey's Toontown, and this is just an incredibly imaginative land. I love it. Out of all the different lands in Disneyland, this is the one that is the most just out of the ordinary, unlike anything you would see in the real world. Everything is just wonky and skewed. It's like a living cartoon. There's so much whimsy and humor and fun little things to do. Just look at the houses and the architecture. All that is based on just total imagination. One thing I really like is this gag store. We're going to go in the gag store, and you can see why I like it, because it is an inspiration for the stuff I do with the Mad Scientist Laboratory and Factory and all that kind of stuff. I love the Rube Goldberg S5 we're getting here, so just love that stuff. So I'm going to sit down and I am going to do my sketch, and because I like that wonky gag factory, I wanted to do sort of a funny kind of clown gag salesman, but I want to do it in the style of the old classic Disney Mickey Mouse rubber hose style. So this is what I'm coming up with for Mickey's Toontown. And that's going to about do it for my sketch journey through Disneyland. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay, that was my trip to Disneyland. I had a blast. I am looking forward to going back, although I might take a little time away, because with the new Star Wars land open up, as much as I want to go there, it's going to be so packed. So I might just wait it out a little bit. But maybe next time we do that, we can go check out Star Wars land and we can do some Star Wars inspired sketches. But I've got a lot of Star Wars stuff. If you dig back into the archives of this channel, some Star Wars fan art and everything is here on the channel. So I've done a fair amount of that. So I want to do something a little bit different, but it was a blast. Just again, got the sketchbook. I'll show you. That is the sketch I did for Adventureland. We've got, what was that? Oh yeah, Frontierland, the old prospector. Remember that guy? New Orleans Square. We've got the mermaid pirate. Of course, Critter Country, our Brer Skunk. What else we got? Fantasyland, gotta have a dragon in there. Mickey's Toontown, and last but not least, of course, Tomorrowland. So there you go. Those are the sketches. Let me know, what's your favorite land in Disneyland, and has anything from Disney ever inspired you to create? I'm sure it has, but I'd like to know about it. Let me know in the comments section. I'll see you guys later. That is all. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.